Hi guys, welcome back to Bro Review Made. So today is a new day. Everything is all nice and dry now. You will notice this does look a different colour from when we last dyed it. That's because as this dye dries, it has a little bit of a different colour. But as soon as you put some finish on there, it goes right back to normal. And that's going to be the first job of today, is putting some finish on these two lovely parts. I still haven't managed to find some fittings yet to attach the base to the top, and I don't want to just screw it in or glue it on because I might want to change this top in the future. Like in the last video I talked about getting some cookies. Well, I'll show you one of the cookies now. This isn't an oak cookie. I don't know what material this is, but that. So I might end up doing that and putting that on it. It's a bit more of a natural look with the tree trunk sort of vibes. But yeah, first job today is we're going to get some mineral oil. We're going to put this over here. Not sure when I'm going to finish the top with this yet. I might just do a lacquer, but we'll see. We'll get done with the base first and we'll see where we go from there. I'm just going to grab a rag. Let's pour some of this on here. I'm actually running out of mineral oil a bit here, so hopefully we have enough to actually get this base done. So decided I'm going to use a poly coat. I got this stuff. I got a little bit left over, so I'm just going to go ahead and use it. I don't have any brushes either to brush it on with or anything to do with that. All I have is a rag. So I'm going to try to do a very, very, very thin layer. I have some ceramic coating stuff upstairs. It's meant for cars, but I think you can use it on wood as well. It seems to work. I did it for some coasters, and they're holding up just fine. So I'm going to do a thin layer of this. This is a bit of an experiment. Pretty sure I'm going to have to sand this back down after doing this because it's going to mess up. But you don't know unless you try. So let's just go ahead and give it a go. Actually, I should do a better shot, shouldn't I? Because you're not going to be able to see the wood grain pop from here. So let me just change the angle. There we go. That's a better angle, isn't it? And we'll see if using a rag with lacquer is going to be any good, because in my head I'm pretty sure it's going to dry by the time I start rubbing it in, and I'm going to be left with a bunch of fingerprints and all sorts on it. So put that on it. I'm going to spoon it out like a pizza. I'm going to try and work fast so it doesn't end up drying on me, because this is a water-based poly. It dries very, very quickly. But yeah, I like how the wood grain's popping now. Looks very, very nice. That's all done now. Let's leave it and see how it turns out. I can see there's not really any streaks in it so far because the wood grain's soaking it all up. There is a few bits, like where I went round like that, where it's actually let me just go quickly, go with the grain, pass a crop, soak up that last little bit, and let the wood soak up all that stuff. I'm not making any sense right now, am I? You get the gist of what I'm trying to say. Try to soak up as much of that poly coat as possible. So yeah, hopefully soaks it all up as it's drying, and when we come back to it, it doesn't need sanding or anything, or if it does need sanding, just a very, very light sanding. But you can see the grain's nice and popped. It's nice and shiny. Might not be able to tell because your angle. Let me just change it. You can see the sort of finish it's got on the wood right now. So we might have to go over with some 600 grit sandpaper. I just got a new load in. I got 600 and 800, so I might just go over it, take minimal off as possible, and then over that layer I'm going to do the ceramic coating that's made for cars but for wood. So, well, actually I'm going to do the bottom the same way I've done the top after this dries, which shouldn't be long. This stuff dries in like 30 minutes to an hour, so that'd be good. I'm rambling on a bit now, so I'm going to stop the recording. But there we go. That's that finished. And the top as well. So we just need some fittings now to fit it all together, and we'll be good. Alright guys, so that is now dried. You can see it's came out alright. I mean, there is some little bits that you can see like here where it looks a bit odd. So, and also the feeling of the smoothness has gone. I mean, it's still smooth. If I bought this at the store, especially IKEA or something, I'd be like, yeah, that's what I get. But we want quality, so I've got some 800 grit sandpaper here uh, on an old orbital sander back in. I'm just going to very lightly just go over it just to bring the smoothness back, and I don't want to take it too far down. I just want it so when I run my fingers over it feels nice and smooth. So I'm just going to go ahead, rub this across. I'm going to try keep it in the grain direction, because even though this is a very, very fine grit, it's just good practice to do it this way. And then after I've done that, I'm going to put this stuff on. It's made for cars, but it's basically, well, Blacktail. If you're familiar with the channel Blacktail Studio, he has his own M3 Nano coating that's really good, which is what inspired me to get this. But I don't have a couple of £100 to buy a little bottle like this, so this is some basically similar stuff. It's not going to be as good as the M3 Nano, but still offers really good protection. And for this bottle here, it was only £20. So, and this stuff hardens like a rock, and it's water resistant. So after I've sanded it, I'm going to go and put some of this on. It says to use 3 to 4 coats of it. This stuff only takes like 5 minutes to dry. So that's what I'll be doing after I've done sanding this. But I'll shut up talking and I'll hurry up sanding. Alright, so now we've got that all nice and smoothed out. Feels very nice to feel now. Feels very nice to feel. Good English. But now what we're going to do is we're going to take some of this Lucky Cat. If you want some of this, I'll put it down in the description below. But if you are going to go into this sort of stuff, I'm going to give you a warning that this isn't made for woodworking. It's made for coating your car to make it more protective. But I've had no issues with it so far. I've only used it once. So if you want to give this a try, it's a very cheap version of Blacktail Studio stuff. But I'm not going to sit here and recommend it because I haven't had that much experience with it. So we're just going to put a bunch of it on there. I'm just going to work it in. You can see it bumps up the sheen a little bit of it too. Right, so that's all on there now. Give it 5 minutes to dry, then go back over it again, and keep doing it. But you can see the lovely shine it has to it now. It's very nice, and it offers quite a bit more protection over just using the lacquer. And I know what a lot of people are going to say is that you didn't put enough lacquer on it and stuff. The only reason I haven't put enough lacquer on it, and I've only done a very thin layer, is because this stuff is meant to be really strong and offers all the water protection and sealing I need. So the lacquer is basically, I don't even need to really use it. I just like, oh crap, I just spilt a lot of this stuff on the floor. Good job it wasn't an expensive bottle, because I'd be crying right now. But yeah. Anyway, we'll let that dry. What's it like now? Yeah, it's already pretty much dry. No fingerprints are getting left in it. So yeah, I'll leave it for the 3 to 4 minutes that it says to leave it though, and I'll crack on and do the rest off camera. I'll come back to you when all this is done and we're ready to fit the table to the base. Hi guys, it is a new day, and I've gotten some flat bar. I went to go order some of those figure of 8 fixings online, but it's going to take a lot longer to get here because, Christmas is around the corner. Everyone's getting the Christmas shopping in and stuff. So that's making it a pain for me to get my fittings in time to get this video out. So I decided I'm just going to get some flat bar and make some of my own, because when I went to B&Q, a box of similar fittings was, well, the same price as just buying this, and I get a lot more if I get this out of it. So decided I'm just going to do that. So I'm going to quit talking. Let's go ahead. Let's mark all this up and get the angle grinder out and start cutting. Right, so got all of our fittings now. Cut them out of that steel pipe, give them a little bit of a paint, and drilled them, rounded them over and everything. I've marked on here where I need to take the router and cut it out so we can recess these in, screw them in, and then we can do the same to the top. Set the router depth. Let's hope we don't mess this up. Right. See what the depth's like on that. Oh yeah, that's perfect. It's got a little bit of wiggle room there, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to go around. I'm going to do all four off camera, and I'll come back to you when we're doing the same thing, but with the base. Not the base, the top thing that goes in here. Right, so we've got the brackets attached now. Me being dumb, I realised I don't have to recess this as well because it already sits flat because I recessed it into this. So that's a job we don't have to do. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to use, well, I've centered this into the middle, and I'm just going to use a pencil to mark out where all the holes are going to go, and then we're going to get some threaded inserts, put them in the table so we can tighten it down. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark it all. Right, take that off. Now we have all the places we need it. Got the appropriate drill bits and appropriate inserts, and we'll go ahead and we'll drill it. I've got the correct size drill bit. Let's go ahead and drill the rest of the holes. Trying to make sure to keep the holes as straight as possible. I find using a drill makes it a lot easier, so I can just concentrate on keeping everything lined as I drive them down. There we go, it's nice and flat. A little bit more. There we go. And the last one. There we go, that's all the inserts in. Right, so we got the bolts cut. Everything fits nicely now. You know, sturdy. So what I'm going to do now is take this back off, and I've recently got a new tool. I have a little stamping iron with my logo on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the tabletop and the base on the underside, you know, so it's not, you know, dead visible and people won't want to buy it because of it, but I'll still have my brand on there. So I'm going to take everything off, going to get this heated up, and we'll stamp it. And because I've had this tabletop sitting like this, I've accidentally scratched the top. Let me see if I can find it. Where has it gone? It's only a very small scratch. There it is. Scratched the top, so I'm going to have to resand the top and finish it all again. I won't show that part though because you know you've already seen that. I'll just get on with it. So we'll stamp the base, and after I've done that, we'll show the finished product. Right, our iron's nice and hot. Got my logo right there. Let's just plop it on here and hope we don't fuck it up. Should have done a test piece because I can't remember how long I need to hold it for. And obviously, once you take it off, you can't put it back on, can you? So it'll be in a different place. Hopefully, I don't have to sand it off and try again. You can see a little black line now, so we'll take it off. Ah, beautiful. Came out perfect. Robia made. Really happy that I can start stamping me products now. You see it there. So we just need to do the other one now. Robia made. I haven't actually thought of this. This has got mineral oil and stuff on it, hasn't it? So hopefully it still brands okay. Well, I can see a lot, a lot of stuff bubbled up, but it branded perfectly fine. I'm going to unplug that now. Leave it there to cool down. That's what we got. So there we go. Everything's nice and branded now. I'm going to go ahead and resand the top, get it all nice and finished, and well, next clip's going to be when the product's finished, so hope it came out nice. Right, so that's the end of this project. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully I can sell it. If not, I'm going to have to take the top off, do something different with it, because I think that top isn't going to work in a lot of people's homes, and I think that'll be why it's not going to sell very well. But either way, it was an interesting project. I learned a lot on the way, got to do a bit of power carving and all that good stuff. So let me know if you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.